Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between WhiteRa and Abver here on Lost Temple. Abver spawning as the purple Zerg player over here at the 8 o'clock position. Meanwhile, WhiteRa spawning this time as the blue Protoss player at the 7 or 6 o'clock position here on Lost Temple. It will be relatively close spawning distances here, for flying units anyways, as this Overlord now makes a very short trek into this location here. The Overlords move very slowly, about 1/5 of the speed of Marines and Marauders, even without stim pack, so that Overlord will take quite its time in order to make it across this gap and get into this location, but still it will be faster than scouting out with an SCV, probe, or drone at this stage in the game. Taking a look at the production tab, nothing too out of the ordinary, no proxy gateways being placed down. WhiteRa just opening up with a standard build, getting a pylon, should be able to get up to 12 or 13 probes, and then place down a gateway. Now the key question is going to be coming in from Abver. Will Abver get an early spawning pool, or will he go for perhaps a 14 hatch and try to get a strong economy going? Both options are viable at this stage, as Lost Temple, your expansion is fairly well protected. There is a rather wider choke point, but still you are able to funnel through a lot, get some spine crawlers in here, spine crawlers with a range of 7, and spine crawlers even on this high ground, able to deal a lot of damage pretty effectively. Back over here, the Overlord still flying around as this gateway now coming online, and we now see WhiteRa finally getting the gas out of sight range for Abver, as Abver moving around with this Overlord only sees this one gateway being placed down. We now see a spawning pool coming in, and the metabolic boost should be coming in just a moment. And as soon as that spawning pool is up. Now, the last game on Shakura's Plateau, Abver did play very aggressively and got a lot of Zerglings really early. So I'll be interested to see how exactly WhiteRa tries to respond here with that spawning pool nearing completion. And then, is he saving larva? Yes, he is saving a fair amount of larva so far. So he will be able to get, I believe, 6 Zerglings out very quickly, and now also get that metabolic boost in just a moment as well. So that will mean that he's gonna have just speedlings out very quickly, and now transferring all of drones off of gas, and will be able to get a lot of damage dealt with those early Zerglings. The metabolic boost does take a fair amount of time to research, 110 game seconds. We now see a Cybernetics Core coming into play, but another building needs to place down with that Zealot in order to be able to hold off any Zerglings, as these Zerglings are now already trying to test the waters, will be moving out in just a moment and heading straight for the main base. The Overlord will be able to do some sighting over here, and he sees that this front door is just so exposed at this time, as these Zerglings now coming in, and now even more Zerglings. So we're going to have 8 Zerglings in the base, and that is not going to be good at all, as now WhiteRa does see that there are now even more Zerglings just pummeling out of here, and this early aggression now coming in. We now see finally another gateway being placed in, and now trying to fight back here. Zerglings trying to peck away, trying to poke through this front door, and now being very careful to micro those really low hit point Zerglings back, as another Zealot or a Stalker needs to come out. And oh, the Zerglings are now able to come in, so the Zerglings will be able to finish off that one Zealot, and now simply surround this Stalker over here. More Zerglings now coming in, one probe trying to get in some more hits, but the Stalker trying to move and attack as that probe continuing to fight back. Probes coming off the mineral line, trying to hold back this swarm of Zerglings, as these Zerglings are just dealing so much damage back and forth. The Zerglings now simply trying to buy more time, as reinforcements will be coming in just a moment. Another Zealot now going to come in and hold position there. Oh no, not able to hold position, as those Zerglings are going to be able to surround it very easily. No, that one Zergling should just try to surround this Zealot here, as that Zergling may be able to finish off that Stalker. Down goes that Stalker there, and now going after this Zealot once again. More Zerglings trying to come in. Another Zergling coming in from behind. Down goes another Zealot there, as a pylon now trying to be warped in, and WhiteRa just simply falling to the swarm very early. Another pylon trying to be warped in. Probes now trying to come off the mineral line, and the Zerglings dealing so much damage back and forth, as more Zerglings trying to come in. Once again, we do have one sentry on that wrong side, or on the good side of that force field, but the Zerglings will be able to finish it off. And now I believe, as those Zerglings are just sitting in this base, another pylon will be coming in just a moment. Stalker now coming in as well, and WhiteRa says GG. Wow, so WhiteRa losing to a very aggressive Abver here on Lost Temple. Not a 6 pool by any means, not even cheese. He did stop his drone production. However, this was just all very apparent for WhiteRa. WhiteRa, if he kept track of that probe at at the Xel'Naga Watchtower, saw what was happening. He could have gotten additional pylons or just more buildings in play in order to be able to hold off that swarm. Because he didn't get that zealot, or he wasn't chrono boosting his zealots, he got really greedy with his economy. He wasn't able to hold back the Zerg Swarm. I believe one additional chrono boost on a Zealot would have been enough to hold that off and be able to stop that swarm. But as soon as those first 2 or 3 Zerglings got in, the Zealot had a much difficult time trying to hold off in this position, as normally you want the Zealot to be able to sit right there and only face 2 Zerglings at most. As soon as that 3rd Zergling was able to come in from behind and just start clawing its way at the back of that Zealot fell much more quickly than you would have expected on that front door, especially since there was no sentry and no stalker acting as a little bit of support, so the Zealot needed 3 attacks in order to take down 1 Zergling. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this very micro-intensive battle here on Lost Temple between Abver and WhiteRa.